Hello. Well, I've done the podcast commentary on these verses, Acts chapter 12, verses 1 through 11, and now for a little window into the Greek of these verses. So in chapter 11, we've seen the famine relief, about the year 44. We may have a flashback. It's possible that there's a flashback in these verses here in chapter 12 to an earlier day. So Herod Agrippa was the king of Israel. Narrow window where there was a king. In my patron podcast on Saturday, I may talk about Herod Agrippa in terms of historical background. But from 41 to 44, for that narrow window, he was king out of Jerusalem. And during that time, he puts the first apostle to death. So we're going to see the death of the first apostle, as far as we know, in our reading today. So let's go ahead and look at the Greek. According to the time, about that time, something like that, at that time, and at that time, we have de. Herod, Herod the king. Now, this is not Herod the Great. He's been dead since 4 BC. It's not Archelaus. It's not Herod Antipas. It's not Philip. So it's the grandson of Herod the Great, I believe. Herod the king, and I have talked on the podcast, and I will talk a little bit more about Herod on Saturday. Herod the king cast the hands to do evil to certain of from the church ones. Okay, epebalen. This is again balo. It doesn't have two lambdas, which suggests to me that it's not the present stem. The imperfect tense, which is the continuous past tense, that would be he was laying his hands upon them. There would be two lambdas if it was that, because the imperfect tense is built on the present stem. So the fact that we only have one lambda suggests that this is an aorist. There's my augment. So this is aorist active indicative. Third singular, there's that N. We'd have a sen if it weren't a liquid verb, and liquid verbs don't do sigmas. So, but I should have that epsilon memorized by now as a third person singular, past tense, active indicative ending. Okay, so Herod the king laid the hands to do evil, to kaka on them. So this is sigma alpha, it's aorist, and then 6 out of the 7 infinitive endings end in I, so this is an aorist active infinitive from kakao, to do evil, to do kaka. Okay, to do evil to certain ones, indefinite pronoun, certain of from the church. This is a genitive of the whole, or partitive genitive, because it's not the whole church, it's certain of the church. It's part of the whole. Okay, verse 2. And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. Dative of means, with a sword. This is again on ireo. We've seen some killing in Acts. It's rated R, but this is the aorist. The il is the aorist of ireo. Okay, so he killed James, the brother of John. This is James, the son of Zebedee, which was predicted in the Gospel of Mark, by the way, when James and John ask if they can sit at the right and left hand. Okay, verse 3. And having seen, aorist of horao, participle. Having seen, because it's an aorist, ing, because it's participle. And having seen that pleasing it is to the Jews. Now, a lot of times with these clauses, so this is a noun clause, that, the timing of the verb in that subordinate clause is relative to the timing of the main verb. So the main verb here, prosetheto, prostithemi, to add to, he was adding to arrest also Peter, present infinitive. Actually, it's not, because it would be lambano, sulambanein, if it was present. So it's lobbing you an aorist, the aorist of lambano there, hidden in the middle. Because the main verb is a past tense, that this present tense here means present in relation to the main verb, which means we can go ahead and, instead of saying, having seen that it is pleasing to the Jews, he added, we can tweak it to say, having seen that it was pleasing to the Jews. So even though this is a present, it is present relative to the past. So it was pleasing to the Jews. He added this is Arist of Prostithemi, added to arrest also Peter. Parenthetical comment. And the days of unleavened bread were. So it was the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which are the days immediately following the Passover proper. Passover is one day on the 14th of Nisan, and then Feast of Unleavened Bread follows that. Verse 4, whom, Peter, that is, this relative pronoun is telling me about Peter, whom also, having seized him, he put him into prison. So etheto is tithemi, the aorist of tithemi. The theta epsilon is what tells me it's tithemi. Okay? Themi, thay. That's the thay, Tina thay. Okay, whom also having seized him, he put him into prison, having delivered, having handed him over. This is paradidomi, to give over. It can mean a lot of things. Paradidomi is a very flexible word. It can mean to arrest, it can mean to betray. Anyway, but the dough is didomi, it's didomi. Having given over to 4 tetradions, to 4 squadrons. So this is, as you can see, in Latin, it's a quaternion, but basically it's a group of 4. A squad consists of 4 in Roman soldiery. That'll be on the test when you are going for your promotion from private to corporal. Anyway, 4 squadrons of soldiers to guard him, having planned after the Passover to lead him up to the people, kind of echo of Barabbas here. And it's about the same time as Passover, isn't it? And we could see Peter preaching a little bit more fervently around Passover, can't we? To where it would get Herod's attention. And Herod would say, oh, no, I'm not having this. You know, and he stashes him in prison. I'll take care of this after the Passover. Okay. This is the aorist, remember, of ago. Verse 5. Therefore, on the one hand, Peter was being kept. So this is tereo, to keep. Augment, it suggests it's a past tense, but it's the present stem, right? There's no sigma, alpha, or anything like that, so it's an imperfect. And it's passive. Amen, ueto. That's the passive. Those are passive endings. So he, third person singular, was imperfect, being passive, kept, tereo. Every little bit here, each segment of this tells us something about how to translate it. He was being kept in the prison, and was coming to be intently prayer. And prayer was being intently offered, as it were, by the church to God concerning him. This is an adverb, ly word. We use ly in English. They used omega sigma in Greek. Intently. This is a periphrastic, was coming to be. Form of the verb to be, the imperfect of a, and then a participle. Men are passive participles, although this is gin omai, which means that it's deponent. And the gin suggests it's present participle. So it's a present middle passive deponent participle, feminine, because the word for prayer is feminine. Feminine nominative singular. Okay, verse 6. And when he was about to lead him forward, that is Herod, and when Herod was about to lead him forward, so this is a temporal clause with the hote, when he was about, this is imperfect. Again, epsilon nu suggests that it's a third person singular past tense active indicative. 2 lambdas suggest that it's the present stem, so it must be imperfect. This is agagagaga, so it's aorist of pro-ago, to lead him forward. On that night, dative of time, telling the clock time. On that night, Peter was sleeping. Another periphrastic, was imperfect of amy, sleeping, koimoo, I don't think it's deponent. So since it translates well as Peter was sleeping, I guess we would take it as middle. It's not important, although it's bugging me to know, isn't it? Yeah, it's koimao, to be asleep. Anyway, so it's either middle or passive. My little dictionary here suggests it's passive, although I don't know how do you translate to be sleeping. He was bank. They didn't knock him over the head. So anyway, I would have parsed it as a middle, but they know more than I do. Peter was sleeping between two of the soldiers, having been bound with two chains. So this is going to be a pretty nifty trick here for him to get out of this. I think Luke wants the audience to know, he wants Theophilus to know that there's no human explanation for what's about to happen here. Okay. And they were keeping guards, phulakes. Guards were keeping the guard before the door. And so this thing's sealed tight. There's no getting out of this. It's a Houdini trick. We're showing there's nothing in between here. Look, I've got nothing up my sleeve. Verse 7, and behold, an angel of the Lord appeared, aorist of episteme. This is you can see the sta of stemi there, aorist. And a light shone. C is the key to hidden sigma, so we have a sigma epsilon. You've memorized sigma epsilon, right? Sigma epsilon is aorist, active, indicative, third singular from whatever word it is. This would be lampo. He's lighting the lampo. A light shone in the oikema, in the prison cell, in the little house, teeny little house. Anyway, oikos is house, so oikema is a little house. Little house on the prison cell. Okay, and having struck him, strange thing, the angel kind of give him a little push here. What? Ow! Why are you hitting me? C is the key to hidden sigma. Sigma alpha, aorist. So this is an aorist participle. Patasso. I like that. Patasso. Just rings off the lips. Having struck the side, pleurisy. Having struck the side of Peter, he raised him, saying, so this is agero. Actually, you can't tell from the form whether it's aorist or imperfect. So you have to decide whether the context sounds more like he was raising him or he raised him. I think I would probably just go with aorist. He raised him, saying, rise quickly, rise in haste, rise quickly. This is imperative, right? Anistemi, stand up. And the chains of him, they fell off. My chains fell off. That's not how the tune goes. Anyway, and can it be? I'm not going to stop to try to get the right tune, although it's going to bug me. Okay, the chains of him fell off from his hands, verse 8, and the angel said, aping an aorist, to him, get dressed and sandal the sandals of you. Put on the sandals of you. I think that's get dressed. That's the way I did it in the podcast. I did have a little twinge of doubt within my heart, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and I'm hoping I can find it. Yes, dress. It is zonumi, dress, and it's the aorist because the sigma alpha, so it's lost the numi. It's lost a lot of stuff in the aorist here. Lu e lu lu san lu sai, so it's a middle in form here. Dress and put on your sandals. Another imperative, sai. Second person singular imperative, aorist active imperative. Probably middle. I'm sorry, middle in form. And he did so. He's good. He obeys. Again, sen. Fry sen on your brain. It's aorist active indicative third singular from whatever word it is. And he says to him, historical present. So he's speaking Canadian here. So he says to him, hey, wrap the garment of you and follow me. So this is a lu e lu u. It's a middle. It's a middle second person singular imperative. Since we only have one lambda, I'm thinking it's aorist because it's a liquid verb, and so we don't have this sigma. Okay, and follow me. This is a present active imperative, second person singular. The lu u. The lu has crashed with akalu the, and when an and an In Greek, crash, they go a. Okay, so verse 9. And having gone out, he was following. And he did not know that true it is. He didn't know that it was true. Again, let's go ahead and bring this into the same time as the main verb. This is oida, which is perfect in form but present in meaning, whatever that means. And since this is the past of oida, he did not know. He did know in the past tense. We say it's pluperfect in form but past in meaning, whatever that means. Okay, I know how to translate it. He did not know that it is true, the thing coming to be through the angel. And he was thinking to see a vision. So this is the imperfect of doikeo, verse 10. And having gone through the first prison and the second gate, he's going through watches, the first watch and the second watch. So he's, hi there, you can't see me, he's going through. I like this vision. Now he's going through the layers of security. They came upon the gate, the iron gate, the iron gate. This is the big one. This is the one it's hard to get out of. I assume these other watches were, if there was a gate, it was probably wooden. I mean, what else would you make it out of? It was made out of glass. No, I don't think so. Okay. This is the Arist Aelth of Urkamai. So it's Arist. Peer pressure. He decided, I want to do an alpha. Every other Arist get to do an alpha. Why don't I get to do an alpha? So they let him do an alpha. But it could have been an Omicron. That would have been more clean, I think. They came into the iron gate, the one bringing into the city. So this is a participle. Active females carry Uzis. So this is a feminine, present active participle, accusative feminine. You would have known that from the alpha, singular. Why is it feminine? Because it's matching gate. Iron is feminine because it's matching gate, which is feminine. And then bringing is feminine because it's matching these others as well. Okay, which automatically, see it? Automatai. Which was opened automatically for them. We didn't know they had those electric gates back then. But God has the power, right? He has the power. Okay, so this is the aorist passive of anoigo. The theta is not there. So it's a second aorist passive that doesn't do a theta for whatever reason. But it is augmented. It's anoigo with an alpha, so it's been lengthened. And having gone out, they went forward one street, and immediately the angel disappeared from him, went away, apistemi, to stand away, aorist. Okay. And now the final verse for today. And Peter, in himself, I think this means by himself probably. This is a reflexive pronoun. The reflexive pronoun takes the personal pronoun autos and puts a he on the front if it's third person, or a se on the front if it's you, or a eme, a mu on the front if it's a me. Okay, and Peter in himself, by himself, having become by himself, when he was alone, he said, aping an aorist, quote, now I know truly that the Lord sent out the angel of him, and has taken me out from the hand of Herod and every expectation of the people of the Jews. Okay, so God has delivered him. Humans thought they had it figured. They'd done their strategic plan. They'd planned it out tactically, but God kind of, bam, trumps it. And so is there any kind of things you want me to, this is an aorist participle. Gen, it's aorist. Oida. This is because we've lost a lambda and we have internal lengthening. This is the aorist. And then the epsilon, again, tells us it's aorist, active indicative third singular from ex apostello, to send out. Ex ireo. So this doesn't mean kill. This means to take out. Escape. Interesting that the same word can mean both. That the underlying word to take, you can take life or you can take out. The hand of Herod, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this has been some great stuff. Tomorrow is going to be fun when Peter goes to the prayer meeting and they don't believe he's escaped. We'll talk about that tomorrow.